Congratulations to Dr. James Rippey and to Dr. Sammy Begg, both dear, dear, dear friends. So, our final award for this evening, ACLM's Lifetime Achievement Award. It recognizes a lifetime of achievement in the field and is the highest honor bestowed on a healthcare pioneer. This award recognizes a significant body of work over a significant span of time that has advanced the field of lifestyle medicine and in the process paved the way for others to follow. The Lifetime Achievement Award is presented to individuals who have been devoted to the cause of lifestyle medicine for half of their lives or more. This year's recipient was a dear and trusted friend and colleague of many in this room, myself included. His legacy was the embodiment of lifestyle medicine in action. He was the first research and education director of the Pritikin Longevity Center, where he aspired to make better health accessible to the masses. An accomplished co-author of books that have been translated into 36 languages and reached over 2 million readers. A professor of preventive medicine at Loma Linda University, a founding member of both ACLM and its board of directors, a catalyst for establishing the Ansel Keys Award that ACLM established just a couple of years ago. He was the driving force because of his commitment to epidemiological research. He was the founder of the Lifestyle Medicine Institute and the CHIP program. To introduce and honor our 2023 Lifetime Achievement Award recipient, please direct your attention to the screens.
I am Dr. Hans Diehl. I have a doctorate in health science, and I am epidemiologically trained to look at the disease epidemic around the world, which is largely centered on non-communicable diseases, or as we say today, chronic diseases. And so my concern has been to contribute to a velvet revolution in medicine.
Vegetables, nuts and seeds, and whole grains. Hey! This year's inductee into the Vegetarian Hall of Fame has helped hundreds of thousands of people all over the world live their lives to the fullest through lifestyle education that includes a whole foods plant-based diet. Dr. Hans Diehl.
We don't have cures for most of these chronic diseases because they relate to our lifestyle. How we eat, how we drink, do we get enough sleep, do we have a supportive network, stress management. Once you have these things in place, once you have this philosophy and it's underpinned by a very simple diet of fruits and vegetables and whole grains and legumes and maybe a few nuts, then you have the prescription for a happier and longer life. And that's what I'm all about.
Cow's milk is the perfect food for baby calves. If a food makes this noise, don't eat it. Stay away from the squinty bags. Eat more foods as grown, and you can eat more and weigh less, and you have money left over for that new outfit. Beware of those commercial breaks because it can be the pause that refreshes. Ban the salt shaker, but also become more aware of the salt content in processed and fast foods. Oh, watch those snacks because they're largely junk food, low in volume and nutrition, but high in calories. And remember, the bigger the snacks, the bigger the slacks. Have you recently checked what is in your cupboard? What's in your refrigerator?
Make physical activity part of your daily lifestyle. Make it part of what you do every day. And you'll be a winner too. Interested in being on the road to a happier, healthier, longer life? Then 2 principles. Choose more healthy foods and move more. And when you do this, you have a great opportunity of having a life that is magnificent, just like this beautiful country here. Hi, I'm Dr. Lily Diehl from the Lifestyle Medicine Institute, and here is to your health. Life is not so much about success. Life is about significance. It's about ministry.
You take the sugar and the white flour and oil and you stir it up in a bowl and you get a ding. You know, that's plant-based, but that's not what we're talking about. It's worse. That's why we say whole foods.
You see, it's like you're hitting yourself on the thumb over and over again.
Yeah.
And then you say, well, let's give you some pain relief medication. And you hit it again. There must be a better way to do that.
There is a better way.
And you pay every time you get the pain relief medication, right? You pay for it. Hey, why don't you stop using that hammer?
Dr. John McDougall and Dr. Hans Diehl are with us talking about reversing heart disease by eating the right foods. You have a special program for this.
We have 50,000 stories. And they teach them, they give them community, they give them support. It's just an amazing program. And I would have to say he's done more, and this is not an exaggeration, he's done more to help people from around the world in a practical manner than anybody I know through the CHIP programs.
Ultimately, I recognized that I need to take this program to the people everywhere. Well, as the program developed more and more, and it became solidified, and I began to collect data and I published it, I knew I had to get a name for it, right? So this became then the CHIP program, the Coronary Health Improvement Program.
The best kept secret in medicine is that, given the right conditions, the body can sometimes heal itself. And when it comes to cardiovascular disease, there's no substitute for nutritional excellence. So, Ornish, Pritikin, Barnard, Esselstyn, all the great names in evidence-based nutrition. But how many have heard about the CHIP program, the Coronary Health Improvement Project, a volunteer-run community-based education program, educating physicians and patients alike about the power of nutrition as medicine, as perhaps the best investment we can make in the fight against heart disease.
The CHIP program is now, by published data, the most studied community-based health program in America.
The Complete Health Improvement Program, CHIP for short, is the preeminent community lifestyle intervention education program where participants start to see a dramatic difference in their biometrics after 30 days into their 3-month-long program. Clogged arteries begin to open up, blood pressures come down, diabetes turns around, people eat more but they lose weight, and high cholesterol levels drop often more than 20%.
The two largest employees in Lee County, the school board and the Lee Memorial Health System, say they found a way to save you, the taxpayer, money. And they're doing it one fork at a time. The Complete Health Improvement Program. It's where people are taught to eat meals that are plant-based. So along with the school district, Lee Memorial Health System put the CHIP program to the test. What they discovered was a remarkable turnaround with the help of their employees. After 12 months, for every dollar LMHS spent on helping employees live a plant-strong diet, they saved $2 in healthcare costs.
It became very clear that when Hans passed away, the world lost a great man. But for many of us, the loss is much more deeply personal because we also lost a dear friend.
I don't think I can ever get over the loss of Hans. He was such a treasured friend.
I really like the way that he himself talked all about that, clearly as something for others, not just a self-promotion kind of thing. He was really giving, if you will.
I don't think I've ever met anyone more loving and kind and compassionate and funny and intelligent as Hans. No one more deserving of this award. The world is a darker place because of the void that he left.
He's one of the people I never wanted the world to forget because of his tremendous contributions.
So I'm very grateful for who you've been. It's incredibly sad that you're not with us anymore, but I know that your legacy is complete. Your legacy is profound. You've helped tens, thousands of people.
Dr. Diehl was a true pioneer. He saw the power of lifestyle medicine. He saw the power of the whole food, plant-based diet.
I can honestly say his life was one well lived because he left an impression. He planted seeds that goes beyond his core family into many individuals around the world. And I'm so thankful that I'm one of those plants.
We started Rochester Lifestyle Medicine Institute in 2015 for the sole purpose of starting running CHIP programs, and it was all because of Hans.
I think the trait that best describes him is his dedication to service. His incredible generosity with his time, with his advice, and with his mentorship.
He was one of the most charismatic, confident, gregarious, and commanding people I've ever met.
He was brilliant, ahead of his time, to bring the science and lifestyle medicine to the community.
One of the things I'd like to center in on is his selfless, really compassion and love for others.
The single most common statement that we hear from people is, "Thank you for giving me my life back again."
He was such a huge-hearted lifestyle medicine trailblazer. And I'm in awe of the number of lives he touched all over the world.
Hans was a good and faithful servant. He was among the best good and faithful servants.
I should tell you one more thing. As I saw those pictures there, I thought to myself, boy, this is better than a eulogy. Because, when it comes to the eulogy, the person who is being honored never hears anything about it, but I did.
And we always will. I'd like to invite to the stage ACLM past president, former medical director of the CHIP program, and longtime friend and colleague of Dr. Hans Diehl, Wayne Dysinger, to share a few words.
I really don't know if there's words to say after that beautiful tribute. And I thank Susan, and I don't know who put it together, but it was gorgeous. And I'm really not going to say a whole lot, but I will say that Hans took a lot of arrows in his back as a trailblazer, as someone that helped start this movement, and that's allowed it to be a little easier for all of us. I also want to say that he was my mentor. I wouldn't be the person I was in lifestyle medicine if it weren't for him. And I suspect that's true of a lot of people in this audience. So if you're one of those people, stand up and let's give a thank you for people that Hans has personally helped move us along the lifestyle medicine journey. And I'll just say one more thing. Hans was not only an amazing person professionally, an amazing person personally, but he was also an amazing husband, and an amazing father, an amazing grandfather. And we have here his wife Lily, his son and his daughter, their spouses, and his, why don't you all stand up? 4 grandsons. He left an amazing family legacy as well. So we did lose Hans too early, but he left a legacy. He left his own eulogy. That was a great clip. And I'm so grateful to be able to welcome Lily Diehl up to accept this honor for Hans. And I believe Lily will be saying a few words. And so while she's coming up, let's just give another round of applause.
You look very handsome.
I don't know if you all noticed, but a couple of those clips, Hans was wearing a white coat and a red bow tie. Guess where this came from? Thank you, Lily.
Thank you, Dr. Wayne Geisler, dear friend. Thank you, Susan Venegas, dear friend.
Thank you.
Thank you, ACLM board. And thank you for all of you here tonight, as well as those that are listening and watching us virtually. I always knew I married a handsome prince, a Renaissance man, a servant leader, a gifted communicator, a huge giver, a fabulous father and grandfather, and best of all, a friend of God. Hans was a voracious reader. In his late teens, while still living in Germany, he was given 2 books to read. And those 2 books changed his life. The 2 books were entitled Counsels to Diet and Foods. The second book, Ministry of Healing. And even at the age of 19, when he was given those books, he did his research. And he discovered that the author was an American writer. He also discovered that she was a woman. And in his research, the Library of Congress stated that this author was the most prolific woman American writer of nonfiction subjects. The name of the author is Ellen White. In his tapestry of life, my beloved Hans always strived to keep his priorities in this order: God, his faith, that is, his family, and then his friends. Do you realize that all three of these components are right here in this room? And those of you that are also with us virtually. Hans would be the happiest man if he was right here tonight with these three components. Wow. The love that I feel from all of you is truly palpable and deeply felt. And my family is here, and I'm sure Hans would have been very proud to introduce them. And may I be more specific in introducing my dear family. And I'd like them to stand as I describe them to you and introduce them. I'd like you to meet our first born son, Byron Edward, and his lovely wife, Shani, and their 17-year-old son, Matt. Would you stand? Byron is an orthodontist, and his practice very close to Loma Linda, which is so wonderful to have them close by. Shani recently just came back from New York City, performing at the iconic Brooklyn Tabernacle, singing with her wonderful singing group, the Heritage Singers. If you want to know a little bit more about NCAA and USA Junior Golf Team, talk to Matt. And I'd also like you to meet our one-of-a-kind, wonderful daughter, Carmen Lily, and her marvelous husband, John, and their three sons, Tyler, Thomas, and Trevor. Would you stand? Carmen and John met at Loma Linda University while both of them were finishing their doctorates in clinical psychology and internal medicine, respectively. Tyler, Tommy, and Trevor, as well as Matt, are all homeschooled. They still are. They love playing soccer, competitive chess, and now, lately, pickleball. Woo! And I'd like you to meet the godparents of our children, Byron and Carmen, and that's my dear brother, Edward, and his wife, Susan Pan. Would you stand, please? My brother is a retired orthopedic surgeon and is now residing in Florida. And lastly, meet my best friend of over 40 years, Christy Plata, who is a principal and school teacher close to Spokane, Washington. These immediate family are just the greatest support, especially at this particular time. And I just want to thank you, family. And the third component that's here is friends. Hans feels that you are lifestyle medicine friends, is his second family. He has two families to love and nurture. And for those of you that are basically just really coming into the fabulous lifestyle medicine movement that are here tonight, may I just say a few words about CHIP? The first CHIP community program started in British Columbia, Canada, in 1988, with 400 members attending. And it was not only a year of 1988 that started the program, it was 1988 in the dead of winter. And a small city called Creston had only 5,000 people, and 400 in the dead of winter came for 16 nights to hear the lectures. But that special time was the beginning of something so amazing, even to our lives in sense. Hans then prepared this 16 set of lectures, and he embodied these 16 lectures as a whole person care approach, interweaving medical science, psychology, spirituality, and self-understanding to help people achieve lasting health, vitality, peace, and joy. From then on, Hans and the Canadian CHIP program leapfrogged from city to city, from province to province, from country to country. And it was mainly from mouth to mouth, sharing. And of course, it started with, it picked up on the radio as well as on television, and CHIP programs everywhere started in churches, in schools, in hospitals, in community centers, in corporations, and as well as in government, parliament, boards. It was then that Hans had to be away from home a lot. Sometimes weeks, and occasionally up to 3 months. It was then I chose to leave my university position, come home, and homeschool Byron and Carmen. They were only about 9 and 10 years old then. Hans always said that he had 2 families to care for. And I know that he had extra special strength beyond himself to take care of both families as well. In closing, let me get a little bit more personal. I know most of you dubbed us as lovebirds. We enjoyed that. Our daughter describes us as two peas in a pod. But we had our own intellectual discussions because of our differences. But I won't really share this with you, or do you want to hear a couple of them? Are you sure? Okay. Is it okay? Okay, I'll tell you, and I think it's somewhat health-related as well. Did you know, well, obviously maybe not, my husband, coming from Germany, loving the hiking in the Alps, and you know that snow never melts in the Alps. And he believed that the cold can stay in the Alps. And he never wanted to end his showers with cold. Never did. And we would enjoy being in the hot tub at over 100 degrees. And I would love to just end my special time there with a hot tub, and a cold shower. I come from the islands. I come from the Philippines with humid weather and beaches, and so cold showers were just so welcomed. And that was just, if there was a time that I wanted to let Hans run away from me, I would just sprinkle him with ice water, and off he goes. All right, there's another one. You know that he always preaches that breakfast, you eat breakfast like a king, right? And you can follow me. Lunch like a prince.
Dinner like
and
dinner like a pauper.
Like a pauper. And so he said, when I'm home, I'm King Hans, and I'm going to prepare the kingly breakfast. And so he has always prepared breakfast, and breakfast for a king and a queen. And in addition to that, he always wanted us to have breakfast with using the best of dishes and the best of silverware.
Wow.
Maybe because he comes from the German city of Solingen that is so famous for cutlery and knives and all. And that was very special. He had an aversion for plastic plates and plastic spoons, or paper plates, more than that. Those were some of the differences, but I won't tell you any more after that, okay? In closing, it's just been 3 months, and oh, do I miss him. There's a lot of things that I miss. But I think there are two most tangible things that I miss of Hans. One is the flowers that he gave me every Friday. It could be a bouquet of long stem roses, Or it could even just be a handful of dandelions that he picks along the road. But that loving, consistent thought of giving me flowers every Friday, I really miss them. And the second, his voice. His voice. And ACLM really picked that up. Did you notice that his tribute, there was hardly any words. It was Hans' voice that spoke from his heart. And they used his voice to communicate to you. That voice, gentle, loving, happy, sometimes subdued, but oftentimes energetic and very passionate. For now, Hans' voice is silently resting. And for these few minutes, I am trying to be his voice. When you think that he used his voice for over 40 years in the CHIP program, sharing the message of hope and healing to a dying world. His voice is silenced now. Like Moses of old, who led the children of Israel out of bondage. He too passed away before reaching the promised land. But I wonder if there could be another voice. Maybe someone right in this room. Maybe someone that's listening to me right now. Here's the good news. When the voice of Moses was silenced, there was a Joshua that stepped up on the plate. Will you be the next Joshua? To continue to carry on the most marvelous program in the world right now. And that is the lifestyle medicine movement. Be the next Joshua. Thank you very much, and may God bless each one. Present the word.
Thank you, Lily Diehl. And so to present the award and the flowers. So we are so very grateful to the life of Hans Diehl and to Lily Diehl and the entire Diehl family for being here this evening. And so to all of our award recipients this evening, to the scholarship winners, to all whom we honored this evening. And thank you all for being here for the Lifestyle Medicine celebration. And one more round of applause for Lily Diehl, and all of our winners this evening. And have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you back bright and early tomorrow morning for the final day of Lifestyle Medicine 2023. Good night, everyone, and congratulations.
So let's see if we can get some
wanted to tell you that was
It's going
Good to see
Wayne.
you, man.
Good to see you, man. Is Heather here?
No.
No, she's working it. That was good.
That's it.
That's so
Attending, all fellows, please come to the stage.
legacy in my life, my love. So, thank you. Looking good for me. Okay.
And this is just video, so you guys can do something crazy, wave or yeah, this. All right.